It can be really hard to ask someone to repeat themselves. Why? Because we never want to offend anyone. While not part of a typical accent reduction program, I'm going to give you a technique that builds inclusivity in the workforce, something that I know is important to all of us. Let's take a look at the definition of effective communication. Effective communication enables two parties to engage in ways that permit joint dialogue, collaboration, and action to meet a shared objective. The hallmark of effective communication is when the message sent matches the message received. Now, this can be challenging because every time we speak, we're not only conveying information, we're also saying something about what we believe to be the relationship between the speaker and the listener. Every time we speak, we're sort of giving two messages. We're giving information and we're saying something, again, about the relationship between the speaker and the listener. I'd like to share a story with you that exemplifies this. Several years ago, my youngest son was getting ready to go to prom. That's the big dance at the end of the year for seniors graduating from high school. So he was home and he was upstairs putting on his tux and doing his hair and getting all spiffed out for the event. And he comes downstairs where I and his older brother were waiting in the kitchen. He walks in and his older brother checks him up and down. And he looks at him and he says, "Good." Now, I might not have liked that if someone had checked me up and down like that, but my son loved it. He felt great. He got the A-OK from his big brother, and he was ready to head across town to pick up his date. Now let's imagine that he walked in the door, and his date comes into the room, and she's looking beautiful with a long gown, and her hair is in an updo, and she's really put so much time and effort into this big event. What do you think would have happened if my son had checked her up and down and said, "Good"? Well, I'm thinking one of two things. Either one, her father wouldn't have let her out for the evening, or two, even if she did go to prom with my son, the evening probably wouldn't have ended up the way that he would have liked it to. Now, the same word or phrase was used, but there were two different messages that were conveyed. There was information, and in both the information was, "I like the way you look." But the relationship, the message about the relationship between the speaker and the listener could have been received very differently, depending on who the listener was. So this is how it can play out in the workforce. When we say, "What? What did you say?" sometimes it may inadvertently imply that there's something wrong with that person's way of speaking, which there never is. But if we say instead, "Excuse me, I didn't understand. Can you repeat that for me?" that can imply a more accurate experience, that two people are communicating, one person doesn't understand, and they're asking the other person to help them understand. It demonstrates that both the speaker and the listener have an equal role in effective communication.